In late December of 2023, the title of the world's biggest office building, previously held by the Pentagon, which boasts an impressive office space of 6.5 million square feet, was given to a massive new mega-project in the city of Surat in the West Indian state of Gujarat. This new $400 million mega-project, dubbed the Surat Diamond Bourse, easily robbed the Pentagon of its crown with its astonishing size, coming in at 7.1 million square feet, easily making it one of the most impressive modern construction projects in India's history. But why does India need such a large office building? To answer this question and more, we're going to explore every facet of this incredible mega-project, from the not much talked about reason behind its conception all the way to the incredible end results and the huge impact it will have on one of India's biggest industries, the Diamond District. So stay tuned. Welcome back to PST Mega Projects. It is hard to describe how incredibly massive the Surat Diamond Bourse is. The 7.1 million square feet it is built on is so huge that it houses thousands of offices and conference halls, where 70,000 employees work daily. The offices alone have around 131 elevators, just to make it easy for employees to get around. The employees make use of the Diamond Bourse's vast parking space, which has spots for 5,000 cars and 10,000 motorbikes. With this large scale, this project is no longer just a mega project, but more of a mini-city. To that end, it includes around 107,600 square feet dedicated to restaurants and cafes, 9 courtyard gardens, and retail outlets to service the enormous population that will be using the space. But perhaps the most astonishing aspect of the Surat Diamond Bourse is that it guaranteed full occupancy as soon as it opened, in an age of remote and hybrid work where office buildings all around the world are sitting empty, and at a time when most mega projects remain empty for years after their opening. So why does India need an office building this big, and where are all these people coming from? The answer to this question lies solely with the city of Surat's large diamond industry, the world's largest by a very long shot. If you've ever been fortunate enough to buy a diamond, chances are it came through Surat, since a massive 90% of the world's diamonds are cut and polished in the city. Even though Surat's diamond industry is incredibly large, it still has an equally large problem: organization. Rough stones arrive in Surat, where they're processed in one of the 1,000 small workshops spread across the city. Most of the finished products are then collected by merchants who travel to major cities like Mumbai, over 200 kilometers away. In the major cities, diamonds are traded both in India and all around the world. As you can imagine, this is an incredibly inefficient and potentially dangerous process. Why would you process diamonds in one city and then travel hundreds of kilometers to sell them? So the Indian government decided that it'd be much better if Surat's diamond industry business took place in the city, which is why the Surat Diamond Bourse was built. With the help of the government, the Surat Diamond Bourse, or SDB, was formed when nearly 5,000 of the city's diamond businesses got together to build it. As we mentioned earlier, this was no easy feat, as the architects and engineers were presented with a list of special requirements for construction that was extremely challenging. First, they had to include 4,700 offices to house the small workshops and businesses that comprised this SDB. What made this challenging was that each office needed equal access to ambient daylight, which provided the best conditions to process diamonds while avoiding any harsh indirect sunlight. The building also needed to deal with Surat's extreme heat and humidity, as well as its monsoon rains and winds. Additionally, the building had to account for and cope with the daily flow of nearly 70,000 workers. The architect team behind the mega project Morphogenesis, who has previously worked on impressive projects such as Kuka's Pearl Academy, India Glycol's corporate office in Noida, and Siliguri's city center, first began the design process by tackling the issue of the large number of people the building had to serve. This was the most important step in the process, according to Morphogenesis founding partner Manit Rastogi. Managing the inflows and outflows of the 70,000 employees was especially difficult given that most of them would come in within an hour in the morning, then they all would want to leave in an hour in the evening. This issue was genuinely resolved by using software that simulated the employee traffic, initially designed to manage traffic lights in busy districts. Next came the Daylight Access Challenge, which was tackled by using some architectural and mathematical wizardry. The design included 9 15-story towers that flanked a 400-meter-tall central spine, which was aligned north to south. The heights of each of those towers and the distances between them are precisely calculated so that even the office at the very bottom gets 100% of daylight and doesn't get overshadowed. The building's spine also helps it cope with the extreme climate. Each end flares out to the west to catch the prevailing winds. Then those winds are funneled throughout the complex, providing 50% of the building's cooling needs. That's the design of the building. But how was the construction of something so massive conducted? Construction for this project started in December 2017, and it took 6,000 workers working for 4.5 years to complete it. Of course, like many other mega projects during that time, the biggest challenge faced during construction was the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic caused global supply chains to slow down, meaning that the large quantities needed to continue the construction had to be sourced much closer to home. As a result, the team planned to source all the materials from within a 500-kilometer radius of the building. Everything was manufactured nearby, from ceramic tiles to ceiling panels. Amazingly, a glass factory was built on site in order to produce the large number of windows the building needed. Now the building is completed and serves as a symbol of pride for its builders, for the city of Surat as a whole, and also for Dream City, which is another mega project that the SBD is part of. Dream City, which stands for Diamond Research and Mercantile City, is an upcoming business district in Surat meant to be India's diamond capital. It will be built on 2,000 acres of land near Keqiang, along the lines of the Gujarat International Finance Tech City or GIFT City and Dallara Smart City near Ahmedabad. Its first stone was laid in 2015, and it'll be Gujarat's third smart city once it opens in 2030. It will include office space, residential areas, and multiple different facilities for these residential areas. Additionally, it'll also include the country's first ever textile university. The university is likely to be set up on 100 acres of land and act as a catalyst for the growth of India's textile industry, which contributes to India's GDP by 2.3%. The establishment of such a university is a strategic move on India's part as it will help it compete better in the textile industry in the region and globally. India's nearest competitor, Pakistan, has had a textile university since 1959, while another country with a huge textile industry, Bangladesh, got one in 2010. To conclude, we'll say that mega projects such as the SBD and Dream City add a lot of value to India's construction industry and its emerging and rapidly growing economy. The Indian economy is expected to surpass both Germany and Japan and become the world's third largest economy in 2027, which doesn't come as a surprise when you consider the country's massive investments in mega projects such as this one, which contribute a lot to its economy. It's certain that many in India and outside it greatly anticipate the completion of these projects, which will set India up as one of the world's top economic superpowers. Well, that is everything for now. What do you think? Are mega projects like the SBD and Dream City useful to India? Please let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you haven't, please subscribe and leave a like for this video. Your support helps us continue our work. Thanks again for your support, and I will see you in the next one.